Rob, we pick up our coverage of the event at Harford Mall with the mall security camera again, as we see the EMTs dispatched from the 911 center entering the food court.
The medical team realized too late that this was no ordinary medical emergency. Soon after they started to render assistance to the victims, they also became victims themselves.
Tragically, all 3 EMTs fell victim while trying to save the lives of the others in the mall.
Right after the 3 EMTs were afflicted by the terrorist device, another call came into the 911 Operations Center. Let's listen.
Harford County 911.
Yes, this is security at Harford Mall. We've got a big problem here.
Okay, what's going on, sir?
At the food court, there's people staggering. Several of them have collapsed. We called a little earlier about one gentleman, and now a lot more people seem to have caught whatever he had.
Okay, what do you think might be going on there?
Within minutes, more ambulances, along with police and fire units, began arriving at the mall as responders realized the scope of the emergency. A TV news crew heard the dispatch and arrived at the mall just before the first backup ambulance pulled in. We have with us in the studio tonight Fire Chief Tom Belford, whose fire company was among those first on the scene of the tragedy. Now, Chief Belford, what was the situation when you got there?
People were exiting the mall from all entrances. There were people staggering, coughing, some vomiting, some being helped by others. Some were injured not due to the agent, but by the crowd's rush to get out of the mall, which further complicated things. We tried to marshal everyone into an area where we could control them, but some ran by us.
And then what happened?
We were worried about our 3 guys who'd gone in and hadn't come back out of the mall. I told my guys to suit up and start standard testing procedures. When those came up negative, we figured this was a serious hazmat situation requiring the hazmat team in Level A, and we withdrew. That's one of the hardest things to do. Overcome your impulse to render immediate assistance to the people you see overcome by an event like this, and back out of the area for the safety of yourself and your team.
What happened next?
Dispatch called for more backup medical units and a hazmat team. As soon as they got there, they began setting up the decontamination corridors and rendering medical assistance. And we got some help from the Bel Air Police Department too. They started to secure the area, gathering up the stragglers and the people who came out of the other mall exits, and set up traffic control around the mall. And we can't control an event like this without support from law enforcement agencies in the area, and we were lucky that they got there so soon. Meanwhile, we were doing our best to care for the people who had escaped the mall, but there were so many of them, and this stuff works so fast. At 1 minute, a victim is ambulatory, just coughing, and then suddenly they go into convulsions and die. We couldn't act fast enough.
We need to take a break. We'll be back with Chief Belford after this.